Welcome to Fear Babes Podcast, a paranormal podcast founded and hosted by Fear fan members.
All thoughts and opinions are strictly our own, and we are not affiliated with any shows in any way.
My name is Burgundy.
My name is Madeline.
And we are
the Fear Babes.
Hello, welcome back to Fear Babes Podcast. This is season 5. Can you believe it? We've made it all the way to season 5.
No, I cannot. Can you believe that we are in season 5? I love how that was the only thing I could think of.
I cannot take this seriously.
Me neither.
Could you imagine?
That would be so funny.
Nobody would listen to us.
Nope,
like,
nobody.
So boring. And on this week's episode of Project Fear, like, what the fuck?
Dakota trips on a toilet. Wow, that was very surprising.
What a fucking weenie. In other news, we have BDT over here in the doll room.
No. You have to say the full thing when you're talking in a serious voice like that.
Oh, okay. If you didn't know what BDT meant, it means Big Daddy Tanner.
Big Daddy Tanner does Big Daddy Tanner things and decides to A. Get a pole and start swinging.
Gross.
I don't even know what I was saying. I was focusing too much on the voice.
And here comes Alex with his revenge face again.
And here comes Chelsea Layden, being the badass chicken she is.
She's like, I'm a part of this now.
Literally, she's like, this is real. This is me. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be now.
Gonna let the light
shine on me. Fuck yeah.
I don't know the rest of the words. That's the only part I know.
Yeah, same.
I was like, wait, do I? No, I don't. No. So yeah, welcome back to Fear Babes.
Fear Babes. And Duchess.
Featuring Duchess. I don't even know where to start. First of all, Mads lives in North Carolina. I don't know why I said North Carolina that way. So you're not near, like, you're close, but weren't directly in the path of the major hurricane damage.
Correct.
Right. And then I am in Wyoming. I don't know if people know this or not, but we have a massive fucking fire happening right now. 87,000 acres have burned. So yeah, just natural disasters left and right in our home states, and it's really sad. It makes me sad.
Yeah. It is one of those things that I would like to explicitly express that though North Carolina is very used to hurricanes, the area of which was affected was not accustomed to big hurricanes like that. And what had happened was the flooding was so insane that all the bodies of water just completely flooded, and it's unimaginable, truthfully. But I cannot believe like these natural disasters are happening so close to each other
Simultaneously.
Yeah. It's absolutely insane. And not in a hee hee ha ha way, but like a damn what the fuck kind of way.
Yeah, literally that.
So we are just taking this time to recognize that and recognize the people that were affected and are affected still continuously. Wyoming is still on fire.
Yep.
And people in North Carolina, though it's been a little over 2 weeks, are still stranded.
Yep.
In different parts of the mountains. There are towns that are completely gone. It's unfathomable, truthfully.
So I'm nowhere near the fires. They're like probably 150 to 190 miles away. But the smoke has traveled down because, like, Mads, you were here. You witnessed how windy Wyoming is.
Yeah.
So yeah, the air quality is not that great. So I'm gonna have a little tickle in my throat this whole time. But
Yeah.
We would also like to say that our prayers go out to all of those affected by all of these natural disasters, and we just hope for the safety of everybody. And as hard as it is, homes can be rebuilt, towns can be rebuilt, but they will never be the same. And some people lost everything that they know and loved. So
they just still need your continuous prayers. If you are in a position of which you can donate monetarily or otherwise, links are in the bio.
Not to start with a sad note, but this episode is being recorded on October 13th, by the way. So just to put a date on all of everything we just talked about.
Yeah.
So Fear Babes are back. Welcome to season 5. This season is going to look a little bit similar, a little bit different for everybody. Obviously, we all know Project Fear is coming back with new episodes on Halloween, but also, obviously, if you're an avid Fear Babes listener, you know that we've started this trend. So I think we started it in season 3, where we do every other episode is a Project Fear review, and every other episode is something else. If you're new here, thank you, welcome, hi, love you. So, Mads, what are we doing when we're not reviewing Project Fear?
So we, of course, have had this idea within our smooth brains, usually smooth. I feel like this idea provided a little more lumpiness and some juiciness to it.
We'll see how long it lasts.
But we have decided to take an approach where, as many of you may know, the first quote-unquote season of Project Fear was directed towards revisiting locations that the crew had visited during their time on Destination Fear. With Tuntateo. Yes. What we decided, and as I said, this has been in the brewing mind for a while. Like when we first started this podcast, we had a trajectory of what we wanted, right?
Since season 1, we've been talking about this, right?
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we are going to review just any location that Destination Fear was at in combination with reviewing the episode of Project Fear, whatever location that the crew went to that was similar to the same episode as Destination Fear.
Yes.
So essentially, we are going to talk about what could potentially be similar from the two episodes, I guess, how the crew have grown, perhaps, how the crew, maybe their different approaches between their time on Destination Fear versus their time on Project Fear.
Wherever the convo leads us, man. We're looking at both Destination Fear at this location and Project Fear at this location at the same time.
Yep. So, we just really considered, because we have been a part of Project Fear, aka what was once Destination Fear, RIP, since the very first episode. And we thought that it would be fun to, kind of go down memory lane. I'm really excited about this. Can I just say that?
Good. We should be.
It's so wild. And we'll get more into that, especially throughout this episode. But it's just so wild. The differences, man.
Mm-hmm. So, for starters, we have to remember that Sweet Springs Destination Fear was the 3rd ever episode of all of this, right? So,
3rd ever.
Only 3 episodes in, if you take out Trail to Terror, if that's not part of the equation, which it is, but if you took it out, it's this is only the 3rd location they've ever been to, as this being their career now. And so it's just, like you said, we'll dive into it a little bit more here in a minute, but it's fucking wild, dude.
It's really crazy. So,
shall we just start chatting?
I think we shall.
Is there anything else we want to talk about that's not Destination Fear, Project Fear related before we do this?
Nah.
Okay. Fine. I'm trying to stall. I was like, no, I don't want to do it. Fine, whatever.
It's
So what's really funny, too, is, so we haven't recorded in a couple of weeks, but we had we had episodes in the backlog, I will say. So we had still been editing up until last week when we dropped our last episode of season 4. So I feel like it's weird coming back in and actually recording. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Like,
yeah, we're kind of
feel like
struggling.
I'm starting brand new all over again. Like I've never done a podcast ever in my whole life. No.
Same.
The first thing I have to say about going back and watching season 1, episode 3, Destination Fear, Sweet Springs, I didn't realize how nostalgic it would feel.
I know.
I was like, what the fuck?
Okay, so like I said earlier, and this is not to say, like, if you're a person that just joined the Fear Fam with Project Fear and you didn't really watch Destination Fear, and even if you did, vice versa, whatever it is, this is not an insult on that part. It's just the fact that, like, that we have been a part of this from the very beginning. And I remember this episode premiering like it was yesterday.
Watching it for the first time ever.
Yeah. Like the way I was watching it last night, and I was just like, yo, like this was 5 years ago.
Fucking weird.
What? Like, time flies, and like they were so baby faced, and I did the math in my head. I was like,
I know
how older they are here. And Dakota being the youngest, he was 23.
I remember thinking that. I was like, gosh, they look like fucking babies in this episode.
I was like, what is happening right now?
Okay, but now I feel fucking old, actually, because that means that I was 23.
Yeah, you were. Ew. That's crazy.
Disgusting.
And I was 20. I was 21. So
gross.
I know. I was a fetus. I mean, we all were, but it was just like, as soon as the episode opened, and I was like, oh my God, they look like babies.
I know. I was like, oh, little babies. Little baby Destination Fear. They're so cute.
Back then, for those of you guys who don't know, that Project Fear would do these oh my gosh, Destination Fear.
Yeah, I know that's gonna fuck me up so many times. I'm telling you right now,
it's gonna happen. Oh my gosh, it's gonna happen. Destination Fear. They would do this thing where if you had like a watch party of how many people,
5 or more,
you could potentially win a Skype call with them.
Yeah,
it was like the thing to try to get as many people as you can to watch with you. Put the picture up and be like, I'm with all these people. We're watching Destination Fear. Yeah. And so that within itself is so nostalgic. I had my friend Amanda come over one time. I could never get more than 5 people.
Bro, you guys, you know the story. You keep telling yours first, though.
There's really not much to the story. I would just have Amanda come over, and because she told me that she was watching Destination Fear, and I'd be like, dude, come over. Because, like, yeah, come watch it with me. And we would just drink, and it would be a good time. And that was just like every Saturday night. Wasn't it Saturday nights? Yeah, it was in the first season. It was like every Saturday night we would just drink, make popcorn, eat snacks, have dinner, whatever, and watch it. And it was just such a fun time. We would tweet, we would live tweet, we would get to interact with the crew. Like, it was just so... I was having all those memories when I was watching the video or watching the episode last night. I was like, oh my God. It's so cute. Nostalgic.
I know. I don't think I tried to do the Skype calls until St. Albans episode, maybe, which was like episode 4, so the one after Sweet Springs, because so Kelly and I were watching Destination Fear together because at the time we were big into Ghost Adventures, and we were watching that together all the time. And then she was like, that was, those were like when they were airing the episodes that Dak was on. So she messaged me one day out of the blue, and she's like, Dakota got his own show. Oh my gosh, we have to watch it. And I was like, what the fuck? Okay. And so I think we had watched the first. Me and Kelly had watched the first 2 episodes together, and then I think for Sweet Springs episode, I was actually in Deadwood when it aired, so I didn't watch it like that night. And then she had messaged me while I was in Deadwood, and she was like, "Dude, they're doing Skype calls. If you have watch parties next weekend, we should try to do a watch party." And I was like, "What? Okay." So the next weekend, she came over to Mom and Don's to watch it with me. And at the time, she had this fiance, and he came over because we were like trying to, like, 5 people or more. So we were like, wait, I was like texting everybody I could think of. I was like, come to my parents' house, watch the show with me. And of course, it was like too last minute. Everybody's busy, blah, 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 whatever, So Kelly comes over, her fiance comes over, and then I was like, Mom and Dad, please watch it with us, please. And they're like, no, we're not watching it with you. And we're like, please, we have to have 5 people so we could get a Skype call, please, Mom, you have to. And they're like, no, we're not watching it with you. And we're like, but we want to get a Skype call. And they're like, okay, fine, we'll be in your stupid photo, but that's it. And I was like, okay, but if they call us, you're gonna have to be on the Skype call too. And they're like, I don't care, whatever. So my parents are in our photo. So we could have a watch party. I did air quotes just then. None of you could see that. So that me and Kelly could get a fucking Skype call. And it worked.
It worked.
We posted up. We're like, we're watching Destination Fear. I almost said Project Fear. And hashtag watch party, whatever it was. DF watch party, I think, was the hashtag that we were looking for. And the show ends in literally like 5 minutes after I get this DM from Destination Fear, and it's like, hey, Burgundy Brown, thanks for throwing a watch party. Do you want to do a Skype call to talk about the episode? And me and Kelly fangirled so fucking hard. Like, Mom and Don, you've been at their house. So we were downstairs watching it, and they were upstairs in the kitchen. And me and Kelly were like, and like run up the stairs.
That's so fucking funny, dude.
We're like, Mom! So we're like freaking out. And I was like, they're gonna Skype call us! And so we all go downstairs. I was like, you guys have to be in the Skype call. We have to make it look legit, like you actually watched it. Like, I was so afraid we were gonna get caught not having them watch it. Like, nobody fucking cares, you guys. Like, what? But I was like, no. I have to play by the rules, Mads. So we're literally briefing my parents. Like,
on what happened in the episode.
Yeah, I was like, if they ask you what your favorite moment was, you say this. If they ask you what scared you, say this. We're like briefing them.
That is so funny.
And then the call happens. So my Skype starts ringing, and it's in Destination Fear, and it's the 3 guys. And Dakota's like, hey, 1 second, we gotta get Chelsea on, because, like, obviously the guys are in Vegas. Chelsea's in Minnesota, right? And it was the most awkward Skype call of my entire life.
See, okay, that is why.
There, like, deadpan, like, this is really awkward.
So, like, not to lie to you guys, I think I've said this on the pod before, but I did not try to get, like, 5 people together. I couldn't get 5 people together to watch a spooky show like that, but I did not try because I was like, oh my god, I'm going to be so awkward. I'm going to be like, this is going to be so embarrassing. Like, I just knew that wasn't going to work. So I didn't try. I was like, no.
I'm sure it wasn't as bad as it felt, but it was just like it felt like everybody's just sitting there staring at each other, not saying anything, just like crickets in the background. Type of situation. That's not at all what happened. It was fine. Like, they asked us questions and we answered it, but like,
how long was it?
The Skype call?
Yeah,
it was probably like 10 minutes long.
Okay.
Because I was the first person they called, so they had to call.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's probably why they didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
Well, for that night, because I think they had some previous, but because it was like the 4th episode that I did my first Skype call. But
okay. Yeah.
But that was the first one that night they called, so they were like, well, we got other calls to make, so we'll catch you next week maybe. And we're like, okay, bye. Like,
dang, did they call everybody that like said that they were going to do it
yeah,
that
everybody
night?
that did 5 or more. Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
I
see,
know.
that's the thing is that like that's how these guys got as big as they are
Yeah.
because they were fucking dedicated to us, dude. Like
Yep.
they never shied away from having a conversation with the people that supported them. They just never
Yeah.
did. I mean, you guys heard about Sharon Faye. Like she had said something to Dakota about of Waverly, and then like years, if not months or years later, he remembered and told her about it. Like,
Yeah.
dude, come on. Could you say that other people would do that?
No.
Other people? I don't
No.
think so.
Absolutely not. But that's why Fear Fam is the best fam.
Yeah, that gives a little bit of background into like how this all like came about. And see, I was kind of like a little stuck up in the sense where I was like, I had done the fandom thing and I did not like the experience that I had. It just was so icky and gross and people were so mean. And I just wasn't about that life. Like, I don't even think I live tweeted for the first 2 episodes. I know I live tweeted Sweet Springs. I remember it in my head and I was so nervous to live tweet because I was like, what if what I'm saying is stupid? Which sounds so dumb because it is. But I was like 21. Come on. That's a child. But I was not like interacting with other people. Really, like no other DFAM, which is what we called ourselves at the time, DFAM.
That feels so wrong.
It does feel wrong. Fear
DFAM.
Fam just makes so much more sense. But yeah, I was not about the whole like fandom thing. And actually, I remember when Burgundy followed me. I remember because I knew who she was, and she was one
So
of those
weird.
people. Yeah, like I just knew who you were because you were part of the Fear
Right.
Friends.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh my God, she followed me. This girl followed me. Well, I can't not follow her back. So I followed you back. And like we started to interact with each other. And then like Melissa followed me, Madison followed me, Kelly followed me, Bree. And I was just like, why are they all following me at the same time? I was just kind of like, okay, well, they seem cool. I'm going to follow them back. And then from there, like we started to interact with each other and stuff. And I was like, okay, these people aren't bad. I like these people. They're nice. Everything's okay. And then I started participating more in the like DFAM kind of thing. And I was like, all right. Okay, this is good. This is fine. It's okay. And I literally was like dedicated, like tweeted, like we were making like tweets for Destination Fear. We were like promoting the fork out of these mother forkers. Like we were doing it. Like
little like promo things to put on our Instagram stories.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
All the time. I just like had a flash of just like a memory. It was just so crazy, dude.
Dude, you said you've done the fandom thing before. This Destination Fear was my first one.
Okay, so...
And I wasn't even active on Twitter until Destination Fear happened. Like, I had a Twitter. I had made one in, like, 2012 or whatever. Because everybody in high school was like, Twitter, right? But I never used it until Destination Fear came out. And then Kelly was, like, all up on it. And she was like, I'm gonna live tweet. You should live tweet. And I'm like, I don't even know how to fucking use Twitter, bro. Like...
And
here we are.
It was so scary live tweeting because you knew that one of the crew members were most likely or more than likely going to interact. And so I was like so scared that I was going to say something stupid. And like to this day, I remember like I would have a like what I thought would be the funniest tweet ever and they wouldn't like it and I would be so upset. I'd be like,
right? You get fucking pissed. You're like,
these fucking bitches, man.
Yeah. My tweet was genius and none of you fucking saw it.
I know you fucking saw it, bitch. That was funny,
you
bitch.
Didn't know, you dumbass. Like,
yeah, what the fuck? Again, 21. 23-year-old me, 23-year-old Berg. Like, this is what it was. Like, that's just how, like, I was just like, what the fuck? They must not have liked that tweet. They must have thought that tweet was stupid. Huh.
Actually, like, rageful about it. Like, my tweets are hilarious and nobody cared. I'm fucking pissed. Like Tanner in the episode in fucking Sweet Springs. I'm actually pissed.
Fucking pissed. Like, I'm actually fucking pissed right now. But I would be like, oh, damn.
Poop.
Poopy.
Like you know the meme of the guy just walking away? He's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like that.
Literally. And then when other people would like it, though, I'd be like, finally, someone finds it funny. Yes.
Yeah. Or when it was like,
yes.
The DFAM people that were like always interacting with you, like for example, Chris, if he would like my tweets, I'm like, yes, fucking Chris liked my tweet. Like,
yeah. Or when you guys would like one of my tweets, be like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Fucking yes.
Like, we were like each other's tweets back and forth while live tweeting, and I was like, fuck yeah, me and Mads, we're on the same wavelengths right now.
And it was so hard to do that though, like to live tweet.
Oh my god.
Like
watch the episode, make your tweets at the same time, try not to miss anything.
Yeah, it was so hard. And like trying to make sure that you had the most comical, most fucking hilarious tweet was so hard too. And some people would just riff off that shit so quick. And I'd be like, holy hell, man, I wish I was a comedian. Like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I would just be like, okay. And I don't want to like sound weird in saying that. I'm just saying I'm speaking on behalf of all these people that I know felt the same thing, because it wasn't necessarily like the tweets that I'm talking about. It had nothing to do with necessarily just the crew. It would be like anybody. If nobody liked the tweet, nobody thought it was funny, then I'd be like
actually butthurt about it.
I would get butthurt. I'd be like, fucking shit, I'm just gonna delete it then.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like you, just you. Like I would too. I would be like, my tweet was good. Nobody liked it.
Yeah. I was so upset.
I know. I'd be like, Mom, is my tweet funny? Like, but it's just because
god.
Hashtag Destination Fear was being flooded so much that it was probably like impossible to see them all, right? But I was like, good one, and nobody saw it. It makes me sad.
Yeah, it's like you're like kicking rocks and your like, head's down, and you're just like, fuck.
So, what's funny too is like, so back to backtrack a little bit back to the Skype call that I made my parents sit in on. So I was like, oh, is this an awkward Skype call? No, but actually it was fine. That's how Mom and Dawn got into watching Destination Fear, was because the crew, they were so real on the Skype call that Dawn was like, actually, I want to watch this now and see what it is, see what it's about. So then, because I think, like I said, it was like the 4th episode we did the Skype call. We sat and watched all 4 episodes that night. Ended up spending the night at their house. We slept on the couch together, all of us, just watching Destination Fear, and that's how I got Mom and Dawn into it. And then that's when Mom's, she calls it Destination Fear Tourette's, was born. Her yelling at Dakota.
Literally was so funny.
What else was I gonna say? Oh, you know what is funny too, though, is like like when I said that, me and Kelly, we were like fangirling so hard. We were like, oh my god, we're gonna talk to them. It's so funny to think about that. Like, where we are now with them, you know what I'm saying? Like we go to the conventions and we walk up to them, like, at the tables, and I'm like, ew, do I fucking know you guys? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, literally, it's
think about
so like, different.
The first time we Skyped with them, and I was like, oh my god! And now I'm just like, ew, it's you people. Disgusting.
Now I come on a podcast
so different
almost weekly and say, ew, Dakota's weird. Ew, Tanner, which I have beef with Tanner still. Fuck you, Tanner. Ooh. Alex is just a dude, like, whatever. And then Chelsea, I love Chelsea. Chelsea is like all things sparkly, sunshine, rainbows, unicorns. Yeah, I love Chelsea.
If you don't love Chelsea, you have problems.
Yeah, no, actually, I would literally put Chelsea in my pocket and carry her everywhere with me if I could. But this was also like, I do want to say, My brain is just like hopping everywhere. This is the most chaotic podcast I think ever. Like I feel like we're I don't know what's happening right now.
I don't know, man. The nostalgia took over and I was like, oh.
I know. It's so like it's just we didn't know really. I mean, we did know who Connor and Riley were. Like if you were invested, you knew who Connor and Riley were.
If you were as invested in the early stages of Destination Fear as we were, you did a lot of previous stalking of the crew. It sounds creepy, but what I mean is like you
some
found
more
out
than others.
They used to have a YouTube channel. Yeah, no kidding. So then you go like you're like, oh my gosh, you know, because you find something, you're into it, and then you just like get really into it. So then you find out about short films. Then you go and watch whatever YouTube videos they had left up because some of them they had to take down. And then you're like, oh, there's this Connor kid. Who the fuck is this guy? And then you do some digging. Yeah. So, anyways.
Yeah. It became like a whole thing.
I was once a fan of the show. That is true. Those are true facts. I once was indeed a fan of Destination Fear.
Yep. We were once fans of the show. Are we fans anymore?
Some would say super fans of the show.
I can confidently say I wasn't a super fan.
You were
to some extent.
No, listen.
To some extent.
You were a
starts kicking the rocks.
You were a hidden super fan. You weren't as out there with it as some of us were.
Yeah. I guess you could say that. Like, I was like, yeah, this is cool.
You're a secret super fan.
Yeah, there we go. Secret.
Man.
They all thought I was normal. How does it feel now, guys? You know that that's not true.
But you still think I'm normal, do you?
If they do, then we have some serious work to do on this podcast.
You know what's scary? You know what's scary is they probably do.
They probably do. They're probably like, they're the most normal people ever. And then we're like, in what universe are we normal?
In my universe. In our universe. In the Fear Babes universe.
Yeah, we are normal in our universe.
Yeah, exactly. So, problem solved.
I can't believe this is like 42 minutes of this. So, different trajectory.
We gotta stay on this path at this point.
Different trajectory. Hey, you know what? Nostalgia is fun. I bet there's so much of this that you guys don't know.
Some do, some don't. It's fine. Or some of you
do, some don't.
Some of you were bringing back similar memories, probably. Shout out, Melissa. Yeah. I see you. I don't, but I do.
Yeah. Okay. I don't, but I do.
I wonder if any of the crew remember any of this.
They have to.
Like, no, I'm not saying. I'm not. I guess I should specify with me and you. Like they probably remember those aspects of it all, right? But I wonder if they remember any pieces that involved you or I.
We need to go on. When we get them back on. I'm taking it down right now to ask them. Do you guys remember like your first interaction or like your first like? One of your first interactions with us, like, do you remember or?
Okay, so let me ask you this, Mads. Okay, I can answer first if you want me to, but what do you think was your first memorable for them interaction from you?
Oh my god. I don't know.
Do you want me to go first?
Yes.
Can you guess what it is?
No.
Yep. Okay, it's Shitty Brother. I'm pretty confident.
Oh. Okay,
yes. The Shitty Brother video was the one that got me remembered.
I'm going to be completely fucking honest with you. I don't know about mine. I think it might have been just the fact that I would tweet the most off the wall fucking bamboozle kind of fucking shit. Like for my own shits and giggles, like gifs of just like the craziest shit and saying, "This is Dakota," ha ha ha, and then they would like comment and be like, "LOL, yeah, this is definitely Dakota." They were probably like, "This is that weird bitch that tweets like these really weird but funny gifs." Like, that's gotta be what it is. What? Okay. What was your first memory of me?
Of
Do you have a first one? Oh, but I
that
think I
can
know
put
what
on
it
the
is, but we can't.
podcast?
But we can't say it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I could leave on the podcast.
Okay. Tell me the one that we can't leave in the podcast first, and then tell me the one that we
you know the one we
can.
can't leave in the podcast.
Is that truly the first ever, though?
That's how we found you, bro. To answer your question, I just remember, I don't know, there was a lot of people back then that were consistent with it, right? So obviously, me, Mel, Madison, you, there's a handful of others like Nate Nurse. Do you remember Nate Nurse?
Yes.
She's in the UK. Sarah, Chris, obviously. I don't know, there's just a handful of core D-fan people that I will never forget about. Even if, like, I know some people, some of them, they're still around, but some of them are like, I'm not as active, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, don't worry, like, you are solidified in my Destination Fear, Project Fear path. Like, literally. You will always be a part of my memories. But for you, it was just like, I kept noticing, you know, because you said that we kept live tweeting every new episode that would come out. So I kept seeing your name pop up on my feed all the time, right? Boop, boop, boop. And I was like, oh, she's pretty. Her tweets are funny. I'm going to check her out. Super weird. I don't know. It feels weird saying it out loud like that, but that's what it was. And so I was like, oh, she looks fun. So then I followed you.
Aww.
I was just trying to make friends, homie.
Yeah, I just remembered, like, again, like, yes, I remembered you followed me, but there was a time before then that I remembered seeing you on my timeline pretty religiously, and I had stalked you. Like, I remember stalking you before I followed you, because I was like, she lives in Wyoming? I have never heard of anyone living in Wyoming.
It's like part of my DNA.
And I was like,
I'm from Wyoming!
Literally. And so, to be honest, it's a pretty cool opener, you know? But, like, I just remember, and I saw that you, like, I remember your bio saying no debt lifestyle. And I was like, no debt? How can you not have any debt? What does that mean?
And
I just remember, like,
raised me that way.
Yeah, and I just remember you, like, that was what was, you know, happening, like, in your life. Like, you had pictures of you, like, traveling through the state of Wyoming, and just in general, like, your Jamaica pics where you're on the beach, and you I remember that stuck out to me because I was like, oh, she is risque. Okay. Okay, girl, I see you.
Oh, Jamaica, man. We should go someday.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know that's in the plans.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of when.
That was Tade's graduation trip, by the way, if you didn't know.
Yeah. I remember you saying that. I don't remember where we were that you were telling us the whole story, but it was intense.
Oh, yeah. Because me and Katie tricked Tade into thinking that he was high.
Yeah.
We're fucking dicks. Anyways, let's keep going.
So funny. But I remember that. Like, I was aware of everyone before people were aware of me, probably. And I was just kind of like, this is so interesting. Like, the most random people from, like, all across, like everywhere are coming together for this show. And that was, like, early on. Like, literally from the first season, from the first episode, that was how early on, like, people were starting to come together and, like, be friends with other people. It's actually wild to think about. I can't even like fathom that. But it took a couple years for us to really, like, click and then get close.
Yeah. Because I think we, like, I think we knew of each other season 1, but I don't think we followed each other until season 2. And then, excuse me, sorry.
No, it was season 1.
Was it still season 1?
Yep. It was season 1.
Meshes together in my brain.
It does. It does.
And then it was like near the end of it though, right?
Probably.
And then I don't think that's when COVID hit. Like season 1, the world was still free and having a good time, and then at the end of season 1, that's when COVID started. And then
you started hearing about it.
Yeah, and then season 2 came out, but that's when COVID was like really a thing. So then that's when Destination Fear at the time, they started the scavenger hunts. Those were intense.
Oh my god, that's another one.
Yeah, and then that's when people started like I think that's when Riley was streaming back then.
Yes.
And then that's when some of us like broke off and we all started playing Among Us together by ourselves. And that's when I got really close to Jessa. Do you remember Jessa?
Yes.
And then that's when we were doing the Skype calls all the time. We were doing Zooms at that point. But like
yes,
so season 2, yeah, we would do the watch parties afterwards. So not the watch parties, we call them after parties. We call them Destination Fear after parties. And that was like a little fun thing that I think Madison and I came up with. And then
No, I was there.
Were you with us?
I was there.
Yes. Was that when me, you, and her had a group chat?
Yes.
So the 3 of us came up with it. And she made all the little designs for him.
Yeah. And
right?
It was just, that's where we started getting closer because remember, like, that was
then we all figured out we were all, like, Disney people, too.
Yeah. And y'all found out I worked for Disney at one point, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I did. It's a part of my life that I cherish. But, yeah, I loved doing that. That was so fun to watch the Destination Fear episode and then to watch a Disney movie afterwards. Oh,
were they still on set? Was Destination Fear still on Saturday nights or was that Friday nights at that point? Because it's Saturday still the weekend.
Nights.
Okay, yeah.
Saturday nights.
Because they would air at like 8 or 9 o'clock for me, which was like 10 or 11 for you. And then after that, we would get on a Zoom call and we would all watch a Disney movie together.
Yeah, that was so great. And
it was so fun.
Oh my gosh. Like, you guys are probably like, oh my god, like, Jesus, they have such a like a long, deep history, but it's like
it's true.
It's true. Like, this shit has been happening for a long time.
This is all the making of Fear Babes, to be honest with you. Like, we would have never made it this far without all of this to begin with.
Exactly. And so it's just
story.
It's kind of crazy, you know. I never thought this would happen. I have told you guys that, like, I did have a passing thought, literally, of the name Fear Babes, because I came up with that, Fear Babes. And then the podcast, I had like, really wanted to do a podcast. And this was in 2020, like, in this time, like, Among Us, COVID, like, all that kind of stuff. I was like, it would be so cool to do a podcast. Oh, well, that's probably not going to happen. And then lo and behold, it did.
Look at that.
Who would have fucking thought?
Would you look at that?
Who would have ever thought? Not me.
It's wild. It's fucking wild, dude.
Not I.
And then the convention started, and that's a whole fucking other story in and of itself.
Oh no, the convention. Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was so scared I almost shit myself the first time.
that was my second one because Madison and I had gone to the Vegas convention.
Yeah. And I know that we're getting a little off timeline, but like, can I just say briefly that when we fucking met Project Fear in New Jersey, it was my first time, Jamie's first time, Amanda's first time, but your second time.
Melissa's first time.
And Melissa's first time. Melissa was there.
In line with us, yep.
And all of us were so nervous. And you were nervous too, but you were like, it's not that bad, guys, I promise. I mean, I'm nervous, but it's not that bad. I was like, you got to go first. I physically cannot. Like, I think that if I had gone first, like, I'm the kind of person, it has nothing to do with like meeting them necessarily, but it was more of like, what if they hate everything about the real me? What if they see me and they're like, ew, like, I just knew that I was gonna walk up and they were gonna be like,
I'm only laughing because I envisioned them when you said that, I envisioned them doing that, which they were.
Me too. Me too. That's why I laughed, because it is funny. Like, imagine like they turn
walking up to the table and all four of them just ew.
That would have been so funny, but that's what I was thinking was going to happen. Funny. But I just, like, in the environment, like, briefly, like, I don't want to get too into it because it's not in the timeline of, like, what this is, but, like, it was just, like, the worst environment to meet people for the first time because it was hot as fuck. We were all sweaty. We probably smelled like sweat. We look like shit. Like, at least I felt like I looked like shit because my hair is like matted to my forehead and I'm going up and like I'm sweating profusely and I meet these people for the first time and I'm like, hi. Hello. It's nice to meet you. Actually, I didn't say a single fucking word. I blacked out. I don't even know what happened. Everything I know is from the other fucking bitch on the other side of this podcast. That's it.
It's me, Mario. Just kidding.
She is like, she absorbs everything and she can tell you anything. Like how someone breathed, what color their eyes are. Like, so it's just perfect.
We're in line and Mads was panicking. And the other people we were with panicking. And Melissa panicking. And me, cool, calm, collected. On the outside, inside, I was panicking. And then what happened was they looked at us and we looked at them. I'm sorry. I kind of just lost it. It all left my brain just now.
Sounds like a romance novel.
And one of them, I think it was Dakota, said, "Oh my god, this is amazing." And Tanner said, Dakota, "The gang's all here." And then we hugged everybody, and everybody hugged us. And then there was a lot of pictures and a lot of chaos. And then, did any of us purchase merch? Melissa, right? I think she got wristbands.
Jamie got wristbands.
Some of us purchased merch. Others of us did not. And then we waved goodbye and we left. That was it.
That was it.
There was a lot, though, because it was like everybody was talking to everybody at the same time. So it was
all
just
while
chaotic.
Being observed like zoo animals by a whole bunch of people
by the
behind
rest of the 3 hours of line that were waiting to see them.
Yeah, I think that still to this day, like, what is more, it's not about meeting the people, it's about meeting the people in front of other people.
Yeah.
Like, people are
weird.
watching you.
That's what's weird. Okay, so recently, this is way out of the timeline, and this is a whole new era now, but recently I was on the Fear Games. This is so stupid. Okay? I was on the Fear Games in Fear Club. If you don't know what Fear Games are, you're gonna have to get in Fear Club and find out, okay? But I think that is the most nervous I've ever been to talk to them in my life.
Yeah.
And it's because there was an audience. Like,
yeah,
I'm fine. One-on-one, totally chill, okay? I got this. When people are watching me, I'm like, stop watching me, please.
It adds a little something.
But when you're standing at a table in front of hundreds of other people, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I don't get that.
It's incredibly intimidating. It's because, like, okay, if the lights were off and it was a stage, I wish it was like that. Like, I could meet someone in front of a bunch of people if I couldn't see the other people. Because that's just me as, like I was a stage performer. And so, like, I can act on stage in front of people all day. Yeah. However, I couldn't see them. But I could see all these people. I felt like I was being observed like a zoo animal. I was like, and of course, I'm not feeling as confident as I normally would because I'm sweaty. I smell like sweat. My makeup is probably fucked. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like, smelled like sweat, but okay.
But it felt like it.
We were in a room with hundreds of other people in a freaking high school cafeteria, so it just smelled like a high school cafeteria full of people. Like
a high school cafeteria full of people. But it was fun. I mean, like, it's fine. But all of that to say is, I never thought back when we were watching, like, the first season of Project Fear, like, I had never thought then that, like, I would meet them, at least realistically. So, because they weren't doing conventions at that time, it just didn't seem like a thing that was a possibility. But then, you know, they started doing the conventions in 2021 after COVID and stuff, because they probably would have done it before then, like, if they could.
Right.
But COVID had to be a bitch. So, yeah, this feels like a very chaotic podcast. I am sorry that you came here. Yeah. I'm sorry that you came here wanting a little chatty chat about Sweet Springs. That's going to happen next week.
I don't know, man. The nostalgia, it took over, you know?
But you know what? We've had this chat before, but it's been on our Patreon. So if you would like to hear more chats like this, join our Patreon, because we have the good stuff over there.
We have even juicier details on that one. Oh, bless you.
I'm so sorry. That came out. I'm so sorry. I forgot where I was. I'm sorry. That was not, like, of course, to, like, not every single detail of every single interaction or every single thing that we've ever done ever with ever wherever, you know, it's just
juicy. No, just kidding.
It's like the PG version.
This version, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's funny, don't get it twisted, okay? It's not like we have dirty deeds on the fucking crew. It's nothing about them. It's about stuff that me and Mads and I. Oh, okay. It's
we're just fucking this up.
That we did. I told you, this is the first time I ever recorded a podcast. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. It's stuff that Mads and I do behind the scenes, which is stupid but funny when we're in the same room as them, usually.
Yeah, and just, like, you know, just
like texts that we were looking at back and forth at 3 a.m. that one time.
Oh!
And I was like, we're ruining everything.
Yeah. So basically, in a nutshell, it's not what you think. I'm just saying we have other chats like this on our Patreon that go into a lot more detail about, you know, like, our experience in New York City, what it was like to just kind of, like, experiences for the first time. Just all that kind of good stuff. So if you like this discussion,
even
check out our Patreon.
Yeah.
And also, we will be discussing Sweet Springs next week.
Sweet Springs! Again, for the third time. But only the second time actually talking about it. Just the third attempt is all. Well, that's not true. We've talked about Sweet Springs with other content creators, too.
Yes.
And I will say, I'll leave you with this little tidbit. I will say that after watching Sweet Springs Destination Fear and Sweet Springs Project Fear again, I still don't ever want to fucking go there. So, just gonna throw that out. Mads.
I do.
Throwing that out there.
I do, but alas.
You're crazy.
I am. It's true.
Okay.
But I talk a big game, and then when the situation happens, I just lose my shit, you know?
The thing is, I'll go with you, but I'm not going to be happy about it, so...
Yeah, I don't think I'll be happy about it, but I'll be like, what the fuck are we doing right now?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but I'm excited about getting into like all the details. Sorry that didn't happen this time. But I think you guys are still
good
gonna like
episode.
this.
Yeah, this is still a good episode. It's fine.
It's
I will
good.
tell you that on October 26th, I'm doing a local ghost hunt, and so maybe I'll get.
Oh no. Oh no. Berg, you're quiet.
The fucking podcast.
That is strange.
I was singing a song. Okay.
What the fork?
Okay, so this is the second time now the podcast said you're done talking and mutes me for Mads and Mads for me. So I don't know what the fuck is going on. Anyways, I'm gonna do a ghost hunt. Maybe I'll get bit by the ghost bug. Maybe I'll be like, okay, Mads, we can go to Sweet Springs now. You never know. That is what I was saying before we got kicked off. So yeah. Anyways, should we wrap it up before it happens again?
Yes, we should. So we've already done our Patreon promo, but you guys, we're also genuinely starting to work on our merch and Etsy shop now.
I gotta talk to you about that after we get off, by the way.
Sick. So definitely check out our Etsy in the meantime. Once this stuff is gone, it's gone for good. But I have everything linked in our bio for Patreon and Etsy. And if you don't already follow us, follow. If you don't already subscribe to us, subscribe.
Like
and if you liked, if you liked this video, like and comment.
This comment. I want to hear your nostalgic destination for your stories. So please share.
Please
share with me your stories.
Yes. Share, please. Share. We love stories.
And friends. I like friends.
And friends.
Okay. So yeah. Goodbye, babes.
Bye, babes. Yeah.